elements in Python tutorial for beginner series. In this video tutorial, I am going to discuss with about iterators in Python. So in this video, we will discuss what is an iterators and how to use iterators in Python. And then we will implement our own iterator using classes. Okay, so before to start discussion about iterator, let me tell you that we have already seen different type of collections like list, tuples, dictionaries, etc. If we see here, with the help of for loop, we can iterate elements one by one in this way. For example, we are iterating through a list. Similarly, this second one is iterating through a tuples. Third one is iterating through a dictionary keys. Fourth one is iterating through all the characters from the string. And if we see fifth one, it is iterating every line from a file. Okay, so there are many types of collections which can be used with a for loop. These are called iterable collections. So we can see here is we are using for loop to iterate over a collection. All these for loops internally are using iterators. So what are iterators? An iterator in Python is an object which you can be used to iterate over a collection. An iterator object has two special built-in functions. First one is _iter_. This function returns the iterator object itself. And second one is _next_. function. This function returns the next value from the iterator. Okay, now let me open Python IDLE editor. And here first I am going to show you how to use for loop to iterate over a list. So let's say I have a list numbers which contain some random numbers. Now I want to iterate over this list using a for loop. So let's say for I in, then the collection name, in our case it is a list. So list name is numbers, and then to print each and every value of this list. So this for loop iterates over each and every element from the list and then print the value one by one using this print statement. So you maybe tried this before also, right? But have you ever think how it works internally? This loop is going through these elements one by one, and that process of going through elements one by one is called iterating through a loop. So Python internally using the built-in functions called _iter_. function. So if I write dir built-in function and give any collection as an argument here, and when I press enter, you will see a list of inbuilt functions. And in this, you can see _iter_. functions here. We can call this special function iter function without using underscore. So let's say I'll take one variable called itr, and then I am going to use a special function called iter without underscore, and I can pass just my collection here as an argument. So this iter function is going to give me the iterator object of this collection. So with the help of this iterator object, we can call all the elements from the list collection. So in order to call elements from the list, let me call the next function. And here I am passing the itr variable, which is the iterator, which we got from this iter method. Okay, and then press enter. So it will print me the first element. Okay. Now if I call it again, it gives me the second element. Similarly, if we call again and again, it's going to iterate over your list and it prints all the element one by one. So here we can see our last value is 7. Now let me call next function again one more time. Now what will happen is I am getting exception saying that stop iteration because there is no next element after this number 7. Okay, so this is how for loop works basically. It has an iterator, and each time when you iterate through, it is internally calling next method on iter object. Okay, so this is all about the basic of iterators. Now let's go ahead and implement our own iterator class. Okay, now let me open pcharm editor. For example, I want to design our remote control class. When you press a next button, it will give you the next channel on a TV. So in order to implement that class, first we need to write simple class called remote control class. And in this class, first of all, I am going to define init method. And this init method is going to take any type of collection which is iterable. And inside this method, I am just initializing a list of channels. So I am going to call a self to create a member variable here, and I am going to name my member variable as dot channel, and I am going to just pass the channel name like Discovery Channel, Star Movies, HBO, BBC and CNN. Okay, and then second member variable which I want to create here is the index variable, which is the index of the channel list. Means right now you are on which channel. So let's give the initial value of index is -1, which means your TV is off and you don't have any channel coming right now. Okay. Now, as I said, in order to implement an iterator class, you need to implement itr function and next function. So first let me implement itr function, which is iter_function. And in this function, I am going to return the value of the self. So this function is going to give you the iterator. And then let me also implement the next method, which is _next . And in this next method, first of all, when this next method is called, what we want to do is we want to increase the value of index by 1. So let's call our index member variable and let's increase the value of index by 1. So let's say you have remote control, you started your TV is at -1, and now you want to come to the first channel, which is Discovery Channel. So for that I am increasing this index value by 1. Okay. And if any given point of time your index is equal to the length of this channel list, means if it is the end of this channel list, then you need to stop iterating. So just write raise stop iteration. So this is a standard protocol for iterators, that whenever it reaches to the end of the list, it always raise stop iteration alarm. Otherwise, it returns the elements in self.your channels, and then inside this square brackets, we call the channel index, which we have incremented by 1. So self.index. So you are basically, what you are doing here is just returning the next available channel. Okay. Now I am going to define a variable r, which is equal to remote control class. So once we have this remote control object, we can call itr method in order to get the iterator object. So let me create one more variable itr, and then I am going to call this itr function, and I am going to pass r object as an argument of this itr function. So now I have iterator object of this channel list using this remote control class, and then I will say print and call the next method to iterate over the channel list using itr variable. Okay. So you can keep on printing it as many times as you want. So let's run this program and see what happens. So here it printed first channel name Discovery, then second, which is Star Movies, third one is HBO, and so on, BBC, CNN, and in the end it raised stop iteration. So we can see because of this next, it's going to call every time the next channel name from the channel list, and in the end it raised stop iteration because my iteration is exhausted. It went beyond this list. Okay. We can also use for loop in place of next with our customized iterator. So just comment all these next statement code and just write for in your iterator, which is itr, which we have got using this iter method, and then I am going to print each and every element inside the channel list. So I am going to print I here. So just save this and run this program again. You can see the same result as we got it with next statement, and all the channel names inside the list have been printed one by one using this for loop. Okay, so in this way we can implement and use our own iterator class in Python. So this is how we can use iterators in Python. I hope you understand the concept, and I hope you like this video. So please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.